Well, tonight, the search for a missing Fort Rucker student is over. Rescue crews recovered his body early this morning. The victim was an international student and had fallen into the waters of Spring Creek Saturday morning and never resurfaced. He was there with 33 other students from Fort Rucker. Tonight, we are learning that the victim was a 38-year-old colonel in flight school training to be an Apache helicopter pilot at Fort Rucker. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says he was told at his friends that he couldn't swim. Law officers say they do not believe alcohol was involved. His body was recovered 36 hours after he went underwater with multiple teams assisting, including several groups from the Wiregrass. WDHN's Aaron Dixon has more on what led up to the drowning near Spring Creek in Marianna.
Fort Rucker student was on Spring Creek near Bear Paw Adventures in Marianna with some of his fellow Fort Rucker classmates when suddenly he sunk below the water on Saturday afternoon. On Monday morning, his body was recovered. One of the groups that assisted in recovering his body was the Houston County Search and Rescue Team.
Worked until about 12:20 and decided we would call it a night, and we were heading back in. We got about a quarter mile outside of the search area, and we saw the victim hung up on a tree just under the surface.
According to the Houston County Rescue Team, the group of students from Fort Rucker were floating down Spring Creek near Bear Paw Adventures in Marianna with life jackets on. Then one of the students took off his life jacket and jumped into the water. And by the time his classmates got to him, the student was under the water.
So I assume he thought it was shallow enough to stand in. And from what the witnesses say, they saw him struggling a little bit on the surface, and then by the time they got to him, he was under the water.
Ball says the search area given to them was under 500 feet, and their search area was where Spring Creek meets the Chipola River. And after nearly 36 hours of searching, they finally recovered the international student's body.
We didn't even get the call until 4:30, 4:45. So at that point, we sort of knew it was a recovery effort. We put all of our focus into looking under the water as opposed to, looking on a shoreline. Did he get out of the water? Things like that.
Ball says that before the incident occurred, the students were all apparently wearing their life jackets from photos they took. Then one student took off his life jacket about 10 to 15 minutes before the incident occurred.
The biggest thing I can say is life jackets, life jackets, life jackets.
From the Wiregrass, the Wicksburg Fire Department, the Fort Rucker Fire Department, and Fort Rucker military officials also assisted in the search and recovery of the body. Stick with WDHN News as we continue to follow this case. In Marianna, Aaron Dixon, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.